Let's go through several examples of our conditionals here, our if-else or if-elif-else conditionals. So we have example number 1. I'm going to paste this into a file called myscript.py, as we've been doing. And what we're saying is we're assigning the value to x, our variable x, of an input. We've learned about this previously. The user can interact and input a value, asking the question, what is x? And we are typing that into an integer, the value of x. So, or casting that into an integer is the proper term. So then we're saying, we're using our conditional here, if x mod 2 equals 0, then print our number is even. Else print odd. Our number is odd. I teased this earlier on in the course where we could use the modulus as we were talking a little bit about numbers and arithmetic to do this operation. And now we're actually seeing it in practice because we've now learned about our conditionals. So let's save that and then run our script. So we are prompted with what is x? Let's put a number in. Let's say 15. Well, that's odd. Let's try it again. 20, even. We could go on forever. 100, even. 101, odd. So we can see with our if-else conditional here, we now have unlocked a very powerful Python feature, and we can check if a number is even or odd. Let's move on to our next example. Here we are also using inputs, and we're just assigning to a variable called weather the user input of enter today's weather, and we're asking them to input sunny, rainy, or snowy. If our weather variable equals sunny, then print wear sunglasses. Else, elif, our weather variable equals rainy, print carry an umbrella. Elif weather equals snowy, print wear a winter coat. Otherwise, in other words, all other circumstances or all other input, print invalid input. Make sure to choose one of these options. So let's save that file, clear our screen over here, and run it. Well, I'm going to input sunny. Well, it says wear sunglasses. So that matches this condition. We can do it again. Rainy, carry an umbrella. That matches our second condition. Snowy, wear winter coat. That matches our third condition. What if we accidentally have a typo and say snow? Well, let's use that as valid input. So it has to match exactly our strings here for this expression to evaluate to true. It has to match exactly. So that's another example. Let's look at example 3. As you can see, we're getting some very real-world use cases here that we can actually apply. And here, actually do some cool things in Python. So here I'm going to assign to a score variable casted to a float, so a decimal number. The user input of enter your score 0 to 100. And then we have a breakdown of if the score is between these ranges. So if the score is greater than or equal to 0, or if 0 is less than or equal to the score, and score is less than or equal to 100. So if they are actually inputting the proper parameters of 0 to 100, then, and we see we have nested conditionals here, as we discussed in a previous lecture. Then we run these condition tests. After these condition tests have been run, we'll print a grade. However, if the score is not valid, if it's not between 0 and 100, we'll execute this else condition, which says invalid score and ensures between 0 and 100. So this is a good use case of nesting our if statements. And then we have various breakdowns of grades, and we use an F string to print out the actual grade. So let's try this. Save. We're going to say 500. Well, that's invalid, as we saw. So that worked. That executed this else statement. Let's say 50. You got a grade F because it's not greater than or equal to 60. What about 90? You got an A. And we could go on. 80 or 85. You got a B. And we could break this down into more granular grades if we so desired. But a very cool example of nested if statements, nested conditionals. And let's show one more example. And this is an example of checking if an item is in a list. So we have a list. The variable name's fruits. We're assigning that a value of, here we have our square brackets to denote the list. Apple, banana, and cherry. So it's a list with those three elements. Then we ask the user for their favorite fruit. So we ask for input, enter your favorite fruit. And that's assigned to the variable, a favorite fruit. Now, if favorite fruit in fruits, what we're asking is this, if this value is in this list. And let's talk briefly about this in keyword. What that does is membership checking in Python. And it's a reserved keyword. We cannot use this for a variable name. Python understands it to mean we are membership checking. So if something is in or is a member of something else. For example, as we see here, a sequence of a list. It could also be a string. We could say if the letter A is in a string, we could membership check that as well. So if our favorite fruit that the user inputs into this variable is in fruits, print, yes, we do have that fruit. Otherwise, print, sorry, we don't have that fruit. So let's try that. Make sure I've saved this file. And we'll run it. My favorite fruit, let's say banana. Yes, we have that fruit. Let's try again with something that's not in the list. To pineapple. Sorry, we don't have that fruit. Let's check cherry. Yes, we have that fruit. And finally, mango. No, sorry, we don't have that fruit. So another great example of conditionals, and I hope these examples give you some ideas of what can be done with conditionals and some more help around how they are implemented.